All right, everybody, welcome back to Swedgelock Southeast Texas Talks. I'm one of your hosts, Buster Caballero, along with my other co-host, Logan Boatwright. We are a show all about the industry, different advancements, innovation. Basically, this is a show for you, and we got a good one today for you. Logan, how you doing, bud?
Doing great, man. Doing
Good.
great.
Good to see
Another sunny day where we're stuck inside.
I know. Well, actually, I was outside a little earlier, and let me tell you, it's hot out there.
It is hot.
So
Just keep the rain off. Keep the steaming down to a minimum.
I will take that. I will take that. So, what do we have on the show today, Logan? What we got special guests today. These two guys are amazing, right?
Yeah, we have two special guests today, and you're looking at them on the screen right now. So today it's just you and me, Buster. It's just you and me, and we're going to talk about really just some things that we see going on in the industry with our customers and with our own company. I mean, as we know, this pandemic has been a catalyst for doing things differently, right? So,
Yep.
I mean, without question, everything that we're doing now is not what we thought we would be doing at the beginning of 2020 or at the end of 2019, or even when it all started, back in early March. And what it's done, at least from what we've seen and what we've talked about, is it's caused us and our customers and really, the entire industry to just work differently, right?
That's right.
So we have some of our customers doing, different shifts or different A and B schedules or different teams that come in on different days. It's really just a completely different dynamic.
Yeah, you never really know, and I know, like myself, you're at some facilities you can't go into, and that always changes too. So where we may go in and people are there, and next thing we know, well, they're not going to be here for another week or two because now they're doing 14 and 14 or 7 and 14 or however they're working. These schedules are, or you have team A, B, and C, or red, white, and blue. It's really always changing. So
Yeah,
yeah.
I mean, really on a daily basis, and back things started to look good for a little while, and then we kind of took a couple steps back. But that's really what we're here to talk about today, Buster. Is just how things are changed, how our customers are doing or business differently, how we're doing business differently, and just how everybody's having to learn to adapt and overcome, which is what this episode's about.
Right. And the one thing that hasn't changed is that our customers are still coming to us for these high quality fluid management components. They're still coming to us for services such as our hose advisory, our gas leak detection, our training. They're still coming to us needing these items. They're still needing us out in the field. And while their ways have maybe changed, ours are having to adapt to their schedule, their processes, our processes, but we're still having to get this job done. And
Yep,
that's the big basis of this show. We're still getting work done. So
that's right.
let's have like a lunchtime conversation. How are things going for you? So, you know, what's the first topic should we touch on, you think?
Well, I mean, it's something that we're essentially doing right now, Buster. It's the virtual meetings.
Yeah.
Virtual meetings, and we started this podcast, right, as a way to reach our customers and share some relevant topics that we think are relevant. We've gotten some feedback from customers and shared some things that they think are relevant. So, I mean, that's one thing we've done, and a lot of other companies have done similar things. But if you're watching, we hope you enjoy what we're doing here, and we hope that it's a little bit different and that it maybe can help you out in some way. But another thing that we've done, and again, a little bit differently, are our lunch and learns. Buster, do you want to talk about that a little
Yeah.
bit?
So that's one of the biggest things that we have done, and it's been pretty amazing when it happens. We're having to adapt and overcome. If that would actually be the theme of this whole show, adapt and overcome. So I was working on a pretty big project. They actually had taken a facility from one location in another state up north. They brought it down to our area. They were having to rebuild the whole thing. This meant that you had people from the old facility were moving down here. You had people at the current facility working in roles. All these guys were really coming together. Now, this was a pilot plant, and you understand that there's a lot of instrumentation on there. This is a scaled down version. They're using probably 1/2 inch tubing, things like that. So we had to kind of educate everybody on all the swage lock components that were at this facility, because some guys weren't used to using the actuated ball valve. Some guys weren't used to using the regulators, the tube fittings, how to go about when they're getting ready to pressure test everything, what's going on. And so this was right at the start of this. And I said, well, guys, let's just do a virtual lunch and learn. Let's go over some very key points for this whole project. And we had on, might have been about 10 people. We had the electricians on, we had the instrument guys, we had the analyzer guys, we had the mechanical guys. We basically had, we also had some of the people from the lab who were going to take what they were making and analyze it on. And we went through and we started at the basics. Guys, this is how a tube fitting works. This is, all the parts. Next thing we did, we went to the ball valves and said, guys, these are the ball valves that are at your facility. Here's what you need to know about each one. Here's our 40 series. Here's the 80 series. Here's why they're different. Here's how the actuated ball valves work with the solenoids, with the actuators, all those together. And we spent about an hour, and it was really nice because they were able to ask questions during that time. And notice I was very conscious about saying they asked questions instead of saying ask, because I don't want my Cajun roots to show.
I'm proud of you, buddy.
Thank you. And it was a very good hour of our customers sitting down with us and understanding this is how all of our components are integrated into your system. And I sent them a bunch of gap inspection gauges. Said, guys, just go here. Here's a fitting. Go around, check these to make sure. You've had contractors in and out. Let's make sure. And sure enough, the guy said, hey, we went through and we found some places that could use some tightening up, verifying that, they were pulled up all the way. And that right there was something that I really don't think I could have accomplished had it been like just access to the site and saying, hey guys, can we all do this? They wouldn't have had time for it. And now, because things have slowed down, I was able to get all these people in the same room virtually and talk about all the products. The guys asked questions about heated regulators, asked questions about how to maintain things, all those. So, the virtual side of that is a big key for that.
Yeah, absolutely. And what you're talking about is, more or less it's a presentation that we're giving to people. And like all of our, presentations that we give, we try to stay informal and take as many questions as we can and answer them as we go. Another great thing that we're doing virtually are these, more engineering style meetings about specific applications, because our customers will call us on a regular basis. Like, hey, Logan, I have this and I'm trying to do this. What can you guys do to help us out? And in the past, we'd go grab Trey or Brandon or Vitor and we'd go out to the site, right? And we'd print out some literature, probably print out some pictures, because internet access may or may not be there. And we'd sit down and talk about it, go out to the field. But what we've been doing now is, a lot of the engineers we're dealing with are working from home. They're not out at the site. And a lot of times we still can go out in the field and look at things, but sometimes we can't. So, I had one yesterday where a customer was looking for a graph sample panel. And they had some ideas and had seen our literature, and they had taken some pictures or gotten somebody to take some pictures of what they had out in the field. But we got Trey and Brandon on the line. We were able to go through it and really just take turns sharing screens of, the relevant information that we were talking about. And if I'm being honest, Buster, the meeting went a lot better than they do in person a lot of time, because you have a way for your engineers, in our case, Trey and Brandon, to sit down and show you the things that are relevant to what you're looking for. And, in this case, we came up with a solution, everybody agreed on it, and, we were able to get a quote out today on it. So in that case, it's something that we did differently than the way we were doing it before, but I think it was more efficient than the way that we did it the old way. So maybe some of these things are here to stay.
I will say also last Friday, I had the same situation. I got on 2 Teams calls with some mechanical engineers. They just got assigned a project, and each one of them had a concept of what they wanted to do. We got on a call. We got the whiteboard out and was drawing on there, outlining items, cutting and pasting components in there. It was adaptable, and I tell you what, it's kind of easier in that
Yeah.
way to have these meetings because everyone's available, everyone's getting more comfortable with the technology. Before something, even training, something that training before was, it's something hands-on. You have to do it in front of someone. We want to do it at their facility. Well, let's take a look at what just happened there. Now the people may not be able to be at the facility. They are working from home. Okay, well, how do we get the components in their hand? Let's mail it to them. Okay, how can we have everybody in a classroom? We have Teams, we have Zoom, we have WebEx, we have all the technology and tools available. So, can you know what's going on with our training? How about, can you elaborate on that right now?
Well, yeah, I mean, people still need to be trained. There's still people out in the plants performing the work, and it's important work. And
Yeah.
you need to know what you need to know what you're doing. And we have a very robust training program, right? And our thing is we have it structured, and it's very hands-on, and it's very step by step, which again, in the past, it's always been an in-person thing. We're gonna sit you down, we're gonna show you how to do it, then
Yep.
you're gonna do it, and then we're gonna test you on it, right? And we've found we were a little apprehensive about it at first, right? I mean, it's how can we do training virtually? Is that even possible? But yes, it is, and we've done it, and it's been very successful. So we've moved to, and again, just to emphasize, we're still willing to go out to customer sites and do the trainings, and
Mhm.
we've done that. But in some cases, it's not always possible.
This
Um,
might not line up.
cases, right. So I mean, some cases you have some people working from home, and I mean, you can do training now from your house. We can ship you the tools. You ship them back to us when we're done, and you've got a full training class there sitting at your house, staring at the outside. And so it's been a really good thing, and we've gotten some good feedback from it. And it's not something that when 2020 rolled around was ever something that we thought we'd be able to do, nor is it something that our customers thought that they might ever need.
Yeah.
But sure enough, here we are.
I was at my little boy's baseball practice last night, and we couldn't get the pitching machine to work. And one of the guys there, he works at one of the facilities, like, man, if I had my voltage meter, I could check and everything. So I was just joking with him. I was like, but man, you're an operator. Come on, you don't know how to do that. He goes, no, I had to take electrician, I had to take instrumentation. And I was like, well, who taught your instrumentation, and what did you learn? I was curious. And so him and I went back and forth, and I was telling him about what we were doing, and he said, well, look, that's actually really great because we're not finding people who are able to do that right now. But if y'all are, let's talk. So baseball practice turned into, a training discussion. So, and that's changing everybody's procedures. And we know that old saying, this is why we always done it, has been thrown out the window. We bring people in to train us because we can't have people leaving the facility. So that's our procedures. That standard operating procedure has gone out the window. So,
Yeah.
which opens up everything to us. So,
Yeah, it absolutely is. So we do have those tools at our disposal. Please hit us up if that's something that sounds interesting to you, and we're here, and we're doing it.
yeah. So, what else do we have going on right now? What are you finding from the discussions with your customers? I know we always kind of piggyback off each other and play tennis, saying, well, what are you hearing, or what are your customers asking for? What's something that your customers are kind of, what's on their minds right now?
Well, a lot of it's planning for the future, right? Because we talked about it on our last episode, or one of, I think the last one with Chris Chittum. Projects are not being canceled; they're just being pushed back. Things are being put on hold, not stopped. So we get a lot of our customers coming to us, and again, you might be half staffed out in the field, so you might have something that works when you're fully staffed, and you can throw a lot of guys at a problem or an issue or something to just improve on. But a lot of the things we're getting right now, Buster, and correct me if I'm wrong, are just people looking for better solutions,
Right.
right?
Right.
So solutions that might require less maintenance or are more automated, or the thing that we're getting a lot of now, and it's been a push for several years, in the industry, but even more so now, is more standardization,
That
right?
is, that would be one of the top three right there, the standardization. Uh, because you've got a guy. Let's take this. You and I are working a shift. We're working together. Hey man, you go take the east side of the plant. I'll take the west side of the plant. I'll run my PMs on this side. You run your PMs on that side. Well, now, hey, I'm out here this week. You're going to be out next week. I have to go out to your side and look at it. And guess what?
Completely different.
Way different.
Same
I,
pieces of equipment, potentially,
yeah,
set up in a different way.
it is. It's usually the same thing, whether it's you're checking your seal support systems to make sure the temperatures are right on your lube oil systems, or your grab sample panels are functioning. Uh, but the panels I'm used to may not be the panels that I see at your side.
Hmm. And
And
it's not necessarily something that you can't figure out, Buster, but it's something that takes you longer because it's a little bit different than what you're used to seeing. And I mean, time is probably our most precious resource, right?
right,
Especially when we might be short staffed out there. So, that's kind of that's the main thing that I've been seeing out there
yeah,
is push towards standardization. If we have an application on this side of the plant, let's make it look the same as an application on this side of the plant. And that way the guy that normally works over here, can work over here, and it'll be a seamless transition.
right,
And I know you're working on some things right now that have to do with that, and so am I. And one of the things that we've been working on for the last couple of weeks has been lube oil filter manifolds, and we'll probably have an episode that just covers exactly what these are. But I'm not going to get into the technical information really right here. But long story short is,
yeah. Give us behind the curtain.
you have some filters that your lube oil needs to go to before it gets to a gearbox, right?
Yeah,
And set up differently on every single gearbox. Um, so why not make the move to standardize those to where they're all the same filter housing, all the same setups, same type of block valve, same type of bleed, same type of sample point, heck, same type of stands that they're mounted on. So if you need to take them out and do maintenance, you can just do it.
and
So go
and
ahead.
what that does is that standardizes your operating procedures. That is something that you can actually document and put in and have your safe checks go. It doesn't have to be a different one for each different panel or different skid.
Mm-hmm. No, you're absolutely right. And in this case, it's going to be a big thing for this particular facility. It's going to save them a lot of time. It's going to save them a lot of money, and not to mention what we've come up with, putting our engineers' head together with their engineers' heads. This is something that it works better by itself. Taking the ease of maintenance out of the entire equation. So
Now I'm gonna pose this question to you. With that also, do you have the standard maintenance kit that goes along with this so that, hey, if you have to replace this, here's the part numbers for it, here's a recommendation on when you should change those, the filters, all that. You have that ready to go on them all too, correct?
So that's another thing that we're working on with is the kitting of the maintenance parts. And we've talked about this in terms of construction projects before on here, but not a whole lot in terms of general maintenance. So Buster, you've got a guy out at one of your plants, and he wants to go work on, it could be anything. Just, you said seal support systems earlier, so let's talk about that again. So a guy needs to go replace some parts on a seal support system or retube it. Well, what's he going to do? Traditionally, he's going to either come up with a parts list and have somebody order the parts that he needs, again, takes time, or he's going to go to the warehouse and he's going to look through the bins and hope he finds what he needs in the warehouse. But one of the things that we're working on with not just the lube oil systems we talked about, but you know, a lot of other installation types is let's just kit it for you. Like, this is generally what you need. So we're going to put all these parts in a box, and we're going to bring that out, and you're going to stock it in your warehouse. And when you know you're working on this type of thing, because you have it standardized, you know the exact parts you're going to need every single time. So I'm going to go grab this box, I'm going to take it out in the field and not have to worry about getting other people involved or placing orders or finding parts in a bin that may or may not be there.
I would even laser etch that maintenance kit on the panel itself. For maintenance, use kit XYZ, and that way, if someone's looking at it, oh, there it is. You know, that's. I'm trying to think how I want to put this, but you know, when we work with our customers, we come up with some pretty good things.
Mm-hmm.
Now, though, I'm finding when I'm working with my customers, they don't want good. They want great solutions. They want something that is not going to just be for the next couple of months. They want to say, like, all right, how do we play this out over the next couple of years? Because if this is going to be the case, we need to have this ready to go. Simple, safe, repeatable, standardized, you know, functional, and on the back end saving costs for them. So
yeah, no, you're exactly right, and that's, it goes along with the stuff we've been saying in this episode and in other episodes, right? The more people that you get together that know what they're doing, generally the better solution you can come up with. Like, Buster, if you and I put our hands together, or hands maybe too, but heads together to solve a problem,
yeah.
we might very well be able to come up with a good solution. Solution, maybe, hopefully. If we get our engineers involved, we're going to come up with a lot better solution.
Right.
More than likely, a lot better solution. If we get us and our engineers and our customers involved to solve the same problem, there's a good chance that we're going to come up with the best solution or something very close to it to get where, you know, where our customers need to go. And that's what we're here for, and that's what we're trying to do with all this new great virtual technology.
It is real nice because let's say you and I, you're a customer, I'm Swedge Light guy, we're sitting here talking about something, and you know, well, can we get the engineer in on this? You can check and see, yeah, he's available. Hold on, and he's on the call in a minute. You know, or he's a little busy, but he'll be on in 5 minutes. So we have all that just working to the advantage of not only ourselves but for our customers on that side. So, I mean, God, it's you almost like to see in a way like it's been disruptive, but it's been disruptive in a way that has hyper. I'm trying to think how to say it, it's sped up innovation in a way. You know, like, hey, we got to innovate quickly, and that's one thing that we've always focused on is how do we innovate, how do we get better, how do we do that, and it's forced this to happen more rapidly.
Yeah. Well, necessity is the mother of invention, right?
Yeah,
so you come up with stuff when you need to find a way to do things differently, and you know, we need to find a way to help our customers out, and our customers need to find a way to get people to help them out. So this is where we are, and you know, the longer that we're doing this, and when I say doing this, I mean doing the work from home during a pandemic thing, the more we're going to come up with new ways to innovate, and the more our customers are going to come up with new ways to do things. And it's really, a lot of it's exciting. I mean, it sounds crazy to say it's exciting because everybody wants to get back to normal, but a lot of good things, neat things have come out of this, and we're seeing it on a daily basis.
I even like some of the things that we've tried and started doing, how at first they maybe weren't, you know, okay, we're offering this, but it's not something that has caught on. So for example, one of the first things that we did with this was being able to book virtual meetings. We all set that up. We told our customers, we shared it out. Might have got one or two. Last week I had 3 just out of the blue. from people who I email someone, they're like, hey, I wanted to talk to you, but I scheduled a meeting with you. Great.
Yeah.
It's something that's catching on now. We've been doing it for a long time, kind of like these webcasts that we're doing and doing the podcast version of it. This is our 15th episode, number 15, or it's our quinceañera. We got to have a party there. So, but now, how long before that really you start seeing other people doing a webcast on it? Not just the webinars on what they're doing, but just what we're doing here, talking about it. So I'd love to.
When we started this, when we started this, Buster, I don't know about you, but at least in my head, I'm thinking, okay, we'll do this for a few months, and then we'll be back to normal, or a couple months, or even a couple of weeks. And now, 6 months later, here we are doing episode 15 and talking about other stuff that we've done because of the situation. So I guess the bottom line is, Buster, is that nobody really knows exactly what the future holds.
Right.
We can all probably agree that it's not going to be exactly the same as it was before. I think we all hope that it's at least more the same that it was before, but let's not stop the innovation. Let's not stop the doing things differently and more efficiently. Let's keep that going. And we're here for it. It's been entertaining.
Yes, it has. It has. Well, I think we're coming up at the end of the time here. We want to thank everybody for tuning in. We appreciate it. If you're listening on YouTube, give us a like, subscribe. We really appreciate that. If you're listening on one of the podcast platforms, either Apple or Google, Spotify, and we just got accepted onto Pandora, so we're on Pandora now. We're everywhere. We're just going to flood them.
You can't shake us.
Can't shake us. We're everywhere. And go ahead. We're also on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. Guys, these conversations that we're having is actually coming about because of the work that we're doing with our customers and with our partners and how we're getting better. So if there is a topic that you're working on, you would like to see us cover, if you say, man, I'd really like to hear y'all cover more grab sample panels. I'd love to hear y'all talk about more. Can you talk welding? That's something that's coming up. We actually had customers say, man, what can you get us some more information on your pressure rating on your fittings and how we can get to higher pressures? So what are we going to do? What do we have on in a week or so? Shane.
Yes. Our next episode is going to be with Shane Condi, and Shane's our guy on the OEM group, and he's become one of the go-tos for what we call FK fittings, which, if you don't know what that is, just think medium pressure cone and thread fittings, but without having to actually do the coning and threading. So he's our guy on those, and he's going to be on here talking about those next week. So we're really excited about that episode as well.
Everybody, like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it, and we will see y'all next week. Logan, I got to head back out in the field, man.
All right, man. Have a good one.
Bye.